Hello, YouTubers. How are we doing this evening? All right, excellent. TikTok, and actually TikTok TikTok's almost ready. Hold on, TikTok was ready-ish. One quick second. We're going to get TikTok rolling, and then we are good here. Hang on here. Can try that one. What the heck? All right. We're going live on TikTok. We are good. Hello, everybody. All right, TikTok. There we go. Hello, TikTok. I don't know what that is at the bottom of the screen. All right. TikTok, reverse the camera, and we are ready. Woo-woo. And the sun is not coming in, so we have good lighting today. I'm very excited. Are my candles on? My candles are on. Woo, woo, woo. Anyway, hello, TikTok, YouTube, Discord. How's everybody doing this evening? There is much to dread tonight. More bad news. Actually, the Ukraine news is good news. But bad news for Trump's Nobel Prize, but good news for Ukraine. But the rest of the American news, pretty bad. So, hey, Bjorn, including a report that ICE bought like ballistic missiles or some guided weapons. ICE is buying guided weapons like missiles and things. Like ICE needs missiles because I guess there were a few too many frogs and unicorns in Portland that scared them. So they bought missiles. These people are unbelievable. Judd Legum's reporting that. Judd's very trustworthy. I know Judd. Anyway, welcome TikTok, YouTube, Discord. How are we doing this evening? Woo, boy. Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. Just insane. What do I got here? Oh, is that the... Yeah, we're going to start with that story. Okay, I'm looking at the different stories I've got here. Actually, did I? Hold on a second. Now I'm wondering, I think I did. I'm going to make sure I actually printed out the most updated. Yes, I did. Okay, I did print out the most updated. It's my script. I'm worried I didn't have the right script with me here. Yes. All right. Welcome, guys. I'm John Aravosis. We talk about the latest news. I'm in Washington, D.C., journalism background, law, foreign policy, Washington background, especially going back decades and decades. So this show is about me going through the top stories and helping you understand them. Oh, boy. Crazy all news today. Keep the gifts coming. I appreciate that very much. You guys can become subscribers or members on TikTok and YouTube. Always welcome, because that basically you pay a certain amount and it goes to me each month, and it's a nice ongoing thing, which is very nice to support your favorite creators that way. Also, anyway, I do this for a living. This is my job, so welcome. But I appreciate you guys being here. And let's get rolling. Oh, I always forget. We've also got these gifts. These gifts are a special TikTok series of gifts that are kind of like a wish list. I forget what TikTok calls them, but basically these gifts, I do things. Including the screaming goat, putting on a Trump wig, singing happy birthday. You can ask me anything-ish, or telling a UN story, and I've got to think of new UN stories. I think I've told you most of the UN stories I can recall. But let's get rolling here. So I'm going to wait for the big story I want to talk about. Thank you, Annie. Let me know if we're doing your favorite, Annie, the Halloween goat. The big story we're going to talk about, there are many big stories, but I'm saving the big stories for second, third, and fourth stories. First story, Halloween goat. First story will be a bad story, but not the biggest story, because I want to wait till we get more people on TikTok. We'll do one more Halloween goat for Annie's gift. Thank you, Annie. Every time somebody does the little galaxy, we get the goat. Well, goat of choice. So Trump special counsel nominee has been in trouble for a while now. Even more trouble. DW, you want one too? DW wants a goat too. So DW, we have the large goat, we have the small goat, and then we have the Halloween goat. The other goats make regular goat screams. This does a special Halloween scream. So you have to just let me know which one you prefer. You tell me. Oh, I didn't get more water. Tell me which goat you want, and then I'm going to get more. The big goat is good. Now, wait, I'm forgetting who got the gift again. I'm trying to read the comments here. I'm trying to read the comments for which gift it is. Did they say? Oh, and thank you, Louise, for the North Star. Appreciate that. DW. Okay. Did they say which goat? I missed. I'm going to get water too. You know what? I'm getting water. Mods, pay attention to see if DW tells us which goat they want. There we go. All right. That's good. Woo. All righty. All right. Well, if DW tells us which goat they want, let me know. Trump's special counsel nominee has been in a little bit of trouble. As somebody wrote in the comments on TikTok today, oh, thank you for the hat there, mustache. Who is that? Ezekiel? Ezekiel. No, that's not Ezekiel, is it? Ezekiel. Ekel. Ekel. There, Ekel. There we go. I was thinking Ezekiel. Ekel. I made you Mormon. So Trump's nominee for his special counsel. This guy's been in trouble for a while. He's in more trouble now. Interestingly, as somebody pointed out, I was saying on TikTok in the comments, they said, well, except what you're describing sounds like they're perfectly fit for the Trump administration. Trump's special counsel admitted in a group chat with a bunch of their friends, and two of the guys came public and talked to the paper. One of them provided all the chats. Another one confirmed the chats were real. Trump's special counsel nominee admitted that he has a bit of an NZ streak. He opposes the Martin Luther King holiday. For Martin Luther King is the most famous civil rights hero in America. He called for martial law to keep Trump in office. He wanted to take over the government with the military and end democracy in our country to keep Trump as president. Yeah. He promoted, turning on the light a little, he promoted 9/11 truth. So on September 11th, all the crazy conspiracy theories about it being an inside job and everything, he promoted those on 9/11. This is one of my favorites. A couple of them. White men are the smartest demographic, he claims. He was spotted at a white nationalist rally, but says he just happened to stumble upon it. He defended Alex Jones in the Sandy Hook judgment, saying we all stand with Alex Jones. He called the attack on Israel on October 7th a psyop. I don't know what he was trying to get. A psyop would be a psychological operation, meaning sounds like he means it was a fake or something, like it wasn't a fake. Like a lot of people died. Like 1,000 people died, basically. And he called Nikki Haley an insufferable B word. Oh, he also defended Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is the neo-Enzi, horrific human being. Defended him too. Yeah, that's Trump's guy. So let me get what I consider one of the biggest stories today, if not the biggest story. There's a lot of big news today. This is horrific. The New York Times is report. I just read this before the show, like 5 minutes before. This is why I'm late for the show sometimes, because I'm looking at the news right before the show to see what's late. Oh my God. Asked Trump today, the New York Times reports, Donald Trump has demanded that the U.S. Treasury pay him $230 million in compensation for the investigation of all of his crimes. He's demanding $230 million of our money, of your tax money, because he was so hurt by the investigations of his crimes, okay, and his potential crimes. The Russia investigation apparently is one of them. My favorite, though, they're including the investigation of Trump stealing classified information, which he did, which he admitted he did, which he refused to return, which he released to an Australian. He bragged at his club about the nuclear secrets, about our nuclear secrets of our nuclear submarines, some of the most secret information that's out there. And he gave it away to an Australian guy at his club because he was trying to brag to the Australian guy. Right? Right? He's going to steal our money. I mean, this is outrageous. He's already, there has been so much graft and grift in this. It was an Australian billionaire. That's what I thought. Thank you, Pepper. I thought it was a billionaire, but I didn't want to say so because I had a little doubt in my head, but I thought it was a billionaire. The amount of theft in this administration already of what he has done, but now he's demanding $230 million of our money in his pocket. He's already getting the airplane. He's already getting an airplane that's going to be worth $1.5 billion. The airplane that the Qataris gave him, that he's spending a billion of our money for that airplane, and then they're going to give it to him when he leaves office. They're giving it to his presidential library that's already said Trump's going to get it, and he can use it the rest of his life. $1.5 billion. And now he wants $230 million because he's a corrupt felon. And he is a corrupt felon. He was convicted of 34 felonies. He was indicted on 89 other ones, or 89 total. I mean, guys, I'm absolutely, and he gets asked about it today. He gets asked about it today and says, could be. Thank you, Celeste. Let us know which goat you want. I'm going to finish this story and then we'll do the goat. Mods, keep an eye on Celeste. He gets asked, are you demanding this money? Could be. He says, when it comes to federal matters, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes the decision, right? That decision would have to go across my desk. No, it's really not. You don't get to decide. Now, what he's going to do, though, this is what's really sick. Trump has 2 lawsuits already in. And what he's going to do, it sounds like, because what he just suggested there, the article was talking about Trump has 2 of these lawsuits in. He's going to order the Treasury Department to settle the lawsuits with himself, is what he's going to do. Since the lawsuits against the federal government, it gets very interesting. Does Congress have a say in the Treasury Department settling a lawsuit? So imagine the Treasury Department settling the lawsuit with Trump, and Trump orders them to settle the lawsuit with Trump, and Trump orders them, I want you to settle this lawsuit and pay and settle it for $230 million. Guys, the level of corruption here is off the charts. I mean, granted, he changed the topic from demolition of the White House, which we're going to talk about next. Literally, he's destroying the East Wing of the White House. Horrific pictures, which I'll send you again. So he definitely changed the topic there by by demanding that he be allowed to steal $230 million. I keep saying it's not funny. This really isn't funny. I mean, this is sick what's going on at this point. It's absolutely sick. He's 8 months into this, guys. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Let me hang on a second. I want to find the picture of the White House so we can switch to this. $230 million. I am astounded. I am blown away and astounded by this entire thing. Where is the White House photo? I've got it here, but I have to see. Hang on. Oh, here it is. Yes. So this is the photo of the White House yesterday when they were literally destroying the East Wing of the White House. The East Wing dates back to 1902, 123 years of American history Trump just destroyed. He did it after a lie. He lied and said he wasn't going to touch the White House. He did. He lied and said he's building a new ballroom, right? Thank you, by the way, for that. What was the music bubbles? By the way, whoever bought the goat gift, which goat did they want? Did they say? And who was it again? Didn't mean to miss that. I'm outraged, Teresa. I'm not surprised. I'm not an idiot. You are entitled to one screaming goat. so let us. Was it Celeste? Oh, Celeste was you. You get to pick a screaming goat. You get the huge goat, the little goat, or the little Halloween goat. Well, you don't get it. I play it for you. I always say you get it. Oh, DW. Oh, Celeste did it too. Oh, it's Celeste and DW. You're right. Because I remember DW because I was thinking Deutsche Welle. Yep. All right, Celeste and DW. Are you going to let us know? The huge goat. Oh, that's a new one. People have not been picking him for a while. DW has not said either. Okay, so you get the huge goat. Now, the huge goat and the little goat scream the same, but different, of course. We love the big one. We'll do one more. Thank you. Appreciate that. So Trump is destroying the East Wing of the White House. He's building a ballroom. The ballroom is going to be the size of the existing White House. All of the existing structures of the White House, the ballroom is going to be as big as what we've already got. It's going to be that gaudy. It's going to be hideous. You know that because of what Trump, look at what Trump did to the Oval Office. The Oval Office is now covered in gold, in fake gold, but everywhere. It looks like Liberace and a Middle Eastern dictator had a baby, and the baby was 79 years old and falling apart, and just put gold everywhere. It's gold. It's disgusting what he did to the Oval Office. And now he's going to build this monstrosity. He's freaking out, which is interesting, actually. The White House is freaking out today because of the criticism. People are not happy. I mean, he's just, actually, this thing with the White House could be very interesting because I kind of feel like him destroying the White House, thank you, Daniel, is a whole different level of outrage. And they're clearly worried about it. Now, of course, Trump being Trump, they tried to argue the legality of it, like the cultural legality. Well, there have been many renovations over the years. Look what Truman did. Truman gutted the White House. Yes, Truman gutted the White House because everybody agreed, including Congress and including the historians, that the White House had not been renovated in decades and decades and had all sorts of problems in the walls, electricity, but also there was damage in the walls, and they needed to fix the White House. And the Congress agreed, and the Historical Society agreed, right? In this case, Trump didn't even go to the preservation agency that he's supposed to apply to. Now, they're going to rubber stamp because it's his people. He didn't even apply for the changes he's supposed to do. Congress, every other change that was done by Congress. Every other change to the White House, Congress approved. Okay? And the Historical Society approved. This time, Congress doesn't even have a hat in it. The Historical Society doesn't. Trump went and claimed, this is the really freaky part, $250 million. Trump claims he went and got it from the private sector, from businesses. Thank you for the glasses there. Who's that, Melanie? Thank you. He claims he got it from the private sector. And a lawyer friend of mine said, really? How did he legally do that? I said, what do you mean? He goes, he's the president of the United States. He can't just accept checks from the private sector and spend them on stuff. First of all, he's going to have to pay taxes, right? If he accepts, whoever accepts these checks is accepting income from Apple and all these other big companies. So who did it? Who accepted it? What's the legal structure? Do they set up a nonprofit? They set up an LLC? What did they set up, right? And by the way, if the money went to the federal government, that's also a problem. Generally speaking, you cannot donate money to the federal government and earmark it. You can't donate money and say, this money will go for building a new wing of a ballroom. No, the money goes to the Treasury. And then guess what happens? Congress has to pass a law that says the money goes for building a ballroom, which is what Obama did, which is what Truman did, which is what Nixon did, which is what Hillary Clinton did, which is what all the first ladies did. Congress appropriated the money. So what did he do with the money? How did he get the money? The other thing is, if the money went to the federal Treasury first, right? If the money went to Treasury, if it went to the government, and the government is paying these guys with the money, then that's a violation of the shutdown. How is the U.S. government building a ballroom during the shutdown? That's illegal. He doesn't care, of course, about illegality. The man was indicted 89 times and convicted on 34 felonies. But, right? I mean, right? It's just, it boggles my mind. AP, the White House has moved ahead with the massive construction project despite not having sign-off from the National Capital Planning Commission, which approves construction work and major renovations to buildings in the Washington area. Part of the other problem, too, is the tackiness. I mean, again, all the law breaking, he's broken. Again, he breaks every law. He breaks every rule, doesn't go to Congress. God only knows. And by the way, with the money thing, too, how much money Trump is claiming, and this is ridiculous. Trump is claiming, well, we didn't get enough donations, so I'm putting in my own money. Does anybody, I mean, the biggest cheapskate on the planet, does anybody believe that Donald Trump is pitching in his own money to build the ballroom? There is a 0% chance. Negative, as Trump would say, negative 500% chance that Trump is spending his own money building this ballroom. Zero. And what I want to know is, if the ballroom is costing $250 million and he raised all the money from businesses, how much did he really raise? Did he raise 300 million? Did he raise 400 million? Did he raise 500 million and spend 250? I would like to know. Because here's the problem. Would Donald Trump do that? Yes. Did Donald Trump do that? We don't know, because he hasn't even explained. Thank you, Jackie. He hasn't even explained who's given him the money. They've mentioned a couple of the companies that have given the money, not all of them. How much have these companies given? We don't know. Which companies have given? We don't know. Who's collecting the money in the government? We don't know. What's the legal process for collecting the money? Are they even doing it legally? We don't know. Is all the money being documented? Is there a legal structure for the citizens to see that this money isn't going to pay, I don't know, the Trump family? We don't know. We don't know. And again, because we no longer live in an actual democracy, no one cares. Democrats care. Normal Republicans care. But not the majority, but the Trump supporters and Congress, the Republicans in Congress are like, oh, well, right? Doesn't matter, right? I mean, imagine, Obama did this or Biden did this and just took hundreds of millions of dollars and said, we're not going to let you know how much we took. We're not going to let you know how much we're spending. We're not going to let you know what we're spending on it. Trust me, bro, right? Thank you, Big Hawk. Thank you. That was Blue Ariel. Blue, I was assuming you were Big Hawk. Thank you with the octopus. Oh my God. It's really just, thank you, Jep in Sweden, really just horrific stuff. Another interesting story, a pardoned Capitol rioter. So you know how Donald Trump pardoned 1,500 domestic terrorists who tried to violently overthrow the government on January 6th, 2021? Trump pardoned them all the terrorists. One of the terrorists was arrested last weekend for allegedly threatening to kill House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. He's a Democrat, African-American. Court documents obtained by CBS News said that Christopher Moynihan was arrested Sunday after saying in text messages that he planned to eliminate Jeffries when the top House Democrat spoke at an event in New York City on Monday. According to a court filing by prosecutors, Moynihan wrote, Hakeem Jeffries makes a speech in a few days in New York City. I cannot allow this terrorist to live. He allegedly stated, even if I am hated, he must be eliminated. I will kill him for the future. Now, this guy got pardoned by Trump, which is why he was able to threaten to kill the top Democratic leader in the House of Representatives. What's really interesting is the language he used. He said he's going to kill him, the top Democrat in the House of Representatives, because he's a terrorist. Who called us all terrorists in the last week? Donald Trump and his staff. They're the ones. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Republican Mike Johnson, Trump's press secretary. Thank you, Terry, for the gift. Remember, they called us, they said that the Democratic base was terrorists. They literally said that 5 days ago, 3 to 5 days ago. They said we're terrorists, right? They said, remember when they said that the Democrats are terrorists in Oregon and everywhere else, and they're worse terrorists? No, they're just as bad of terrorists as Al-Qaeda and ISIS, they claimed. They literally called us terrorists, and now we've got, not to mention, one of the actual domestic terrorists who Donald Trump released from prison just planned to murder, to assassinate the lead Democrat in the House of Representatives. Yeah. Again, it's thank you for the North Star there. Who is that? Thank you, Jen. Very upsetting. Little bit of Ukraine news. This is actually kind of getting funny here. The meeting between Trump and Putin. Remember, Trump last week said Trump met, basically everything blew up in Trump's face. This is good. We're not ending. I'm staying here. Don't worry. We're going to be here for another half hour at least. But this is good news to end on, meaning news to, this is a happy story. We've talked about so many unhappy stories tonight. This is a very happy story. Donald Trump last Thursday talked to Vladimir Putin of Russia. And as you know, when Donald Trump talks to Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump gets on his knees and goes, yes, master. What would you like me to do? What would you like Genie to do? Right? I'm the genie in the bottle for you, master. And Vladimir Putin says, here's what I want you to do, Donald. And Trump does it. Well, Putin this time told Trump, you go and you tell Zelensky he's better give me a lot of land, and that's how we're going to end the war. Zelensky's going to agree to everything I want, and I want land. All right. Oh, thank you, Celeste. Very nice gift there. Thank you so much for that. Jolie's Heartland. Oh, hello, the dragon. Our dragon. I haven't seen the dragon in so long. Thank you, Kat. And thank you, Claire. Oh, we're getting a lot of fun gifts right now. Thank you, guys. I do love that. I mean, they're all great. I missed the dragon. I forgot we still had that dragon. Remember, like, we didn't even know about the dragon until like a month into it. Either somebody told me or I moved and it came out of my mouth and I went, wait a minute, the dragon spews fire? Very cool gift. The whale. We love our whale. Celeste, you are on a roll tonight. Thank you so much. The whale, wait, does the whale do something? The whale does. Oh, the whale's the Trump wig. Hang on. Whale's the Trump wig. I was going to say, I thought the whale did something because the whale's a very nice gift. All right, you get the Trump wig for a minute or two. All right, there we go. Itches. Every time I do this, it itches my face. I do still, although I finally figured out how to part it well. I've still got to get the hairbrush. And I told you, I still feel like, actually, you know who I feel like too? What's her face who does the financial, we like her though, who does the financial advice. Thank you, Big Hawk, for the shout out. Susie Orman. I'm a little bit of Susie Orman here with my Trump hair. I feel like do a Roth IRA. So, oh my. So Putin talks to Trump on Thursday. Tells him Irma Bomb. It's very Irma Bombeck too. Yep. Putin talks to Trump on Thursday and says, "You're going to tell Zelensky he's going to give me all the land that I want, and if he doesn't give me all the land that I want, I'm going to hurt him and I'm going to attack Ukraine." So Trump meets with Putin on Friday. Trump meets with Zelensky on Friday, president of Ukraine, at the White House, and tells him, and again, Trump just last month said, the Ukrainians, I think, can win this. Not just win it. I think the Ukrainians can even take some land from Russia. And he was big on Ukraine. Just 2 days ago, Trump's Secretary of Defense, or a couple days ago, it was last week. Trump's Secretary of Defense says, we need to give Ukraine as much weapon as possible. They're going to, it's the only way to stand up to Russia. Trump then meets with Zelensky 2 days later and says, and he yells at Zelensky, according to press reports. He yelled at him, "You're going to lose. If Putin wants to win this war, he's going to destroy you." And he literally repeated every Putin talking point. Thank you, Russell. I'm going to take that. Actually, that's kind of funny. The hat with the hair. It had the hair sticking out. That was cute. Trump claimed that Zelensky, and this is my favorite this is probably my favorite Russian talking point. It's just such a lie. The Russians claim, the Russians are 3.5 years into this war. It's been 3.5 years. They've lost 1 million men, 300,000 to 400,000 dead, 1 million injured, okay, in this war. And the Russians claim the only reason you're still around, Ukraine, is we aren't really trying hard. And you're going, first of all, what country enters a war and doesn't try hard is the first thing. And if you're not trying hard, why should we believe you're going to try hard? Because if you're not trying hard, there's something going on stopping you from, you're not trying hard because you're nice guys, right? Russia isn't not trying because they're nice guys. Second of all, you've lost 1 million men and you're not trying. I don't think you should be remaining in the Russian presidency if you've been fighting for 3.5 years and you've lost 1 million men and you're still not trying. Okay. If you're not trying after losing 1 million men, you have no right to be the president of Russia and the people should throw you out. So that's not true. Basically, it's over 1 million casualties. In military terms, casualties means killed and wounded both. So the killed is probably 400,000 now, more or less. Wounded is probably 800,000. It's a huge number. 1.2 million is huge number. Clearly, the Russians are lying, right? And any normal human being with half a brain cell would go, really, dude, after 3.5 years, you want me to believe this war is still going on if you've lost 1.2 million soldiers because you're not trying? Like, I mean, sure, right. Would you like me to tell your people that? So Trump actually says this to Zelensky and then tells Zelensky, he's going to destroy you. The only way to save yourself is give him everything he wants. He wants lots of land. Give him the land. And Zelensky's like, no. Well, somehow, God only knows how Zelensky did this, though. Zelensky, by the end of the meeting, convinced Trump that basically a ceasefire was the better way. Was no, you don't give up land. We freeze the war where it is. And Trump was like, okay, where it is now. Trump is now on board with the ceasefire. The European Union jumped in. All the European countries jumped in and said, yes, ceasefire. Zelensky's pushing this. The Russians said no ceasefire. So all of a sudden it switched from Trump and Russia, right? By the way, guys, ignore the troll on TikTok. That's a scammer, obviously. Make sure you report that person. It switched from Trump being on Putin's side and promoting Putin's talking points to Trump now being back on Ukraine's side and basically no longer promoting Putin. But it got better today. The White House announced today that the leader between Trump and Putin were going to meet in 2 weeks in Hungary. Remember? We're going to meet in Hungary and we're going to talk about peace. The meeting has been called off. It's following a call between U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov. The meeting has been called off. So the phone call went so bad between Lavrov and Rubio that they called off the meeting. That's pretty good. I mean, considering 4 days ago, Tuesday, right? Monday, Sunday. Yeah, 4 days ago, Trump was on board with Russia, had bought into Russian propaganda again. And now 4 days later, the meeting is off entirely. It's good. It's very good, right? Anyway, that was very good. That's it. That's it for the news. So now we hang and we talk. But I thought that was very good. So the news is horrible today. Like I said, Donald Trump is trying to steal $230 million from the American taxpayer, which is absolutely sickening. And he thinks he's got the authority to do it, and he may, which is really scary too. I mean, again, he's going to steal $230 million. And people are like, oh yeah, that's just Trump. It's your money. He's literally stealing your money and my money. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. How does he get away with it? Because the Republicans won't stop him. Because the voters put the Republicans in charge of Congress, and the Republicans are refusing to stand up to Donald Trump and say no. That's how he gets away with it. So, very upsetting. I know, I love my watermelon cup. This was one of Mom's cups. You can tell me, obviously, like used for some kind of cold drink in the summer kind of thing, but I love this thing. My nephew grabbed a bunch of them, but I said, I'm grabbing one. I get dibs. I get one of them. You can have the other ones, but I get one. So I've got the one, which makes me very happy. Oh my God. Rubio is the only competent one, but he's not very good either. I mean, Rubio's the one that's basically running the war against Venezuela. Oh, you have lemon ones? Cute. So, oh man, is this ever going to end? No, not for 3.5 years. It's not. It's just water. I wouldn't mind it being more than water, but it's just water. Poland news. Don't know any Poland news. Little Miss Thing is awake. She's going to come walking by any moment now. Oh, there you go. There we go. YouTube and Discord get a flash. Hello. I do have water in her bowl, so she'll get the water in the bowl. Always cracks me up. Halfway through the show, she wakes up and she's like, "Oh." Midterms could change it, but Republicans are trying very hard to steal the midterms. So that's a little scary. I did not see a joint statement today from the European Union and NATO, but that's great. Look, the problem with Trump is last time he tried to violently overthrow the government to stay in office, and he got away with it. That means this next time, that's the baseline of expected behavior, right? It's what he did before. And he got away with it. So why wouldn't he do it again? Very scary stuff. Doesn't matter. Well, Anne-Marie, Trump has not been impeached because he has to be impeached by the House and then Senate. The House and Senate are run by Republicans. They're run by Republicans. So what do you do, right? You can't, Republicans don't want to impeach him. They're not going to impeach him. Republicans don't even want to hold Trump responsible. They don't even want to tell Trump no. They won't tell him no about anything. So he's going to keep trying this stuff. They're going to, this is going to be very bad. Again, people are organizing. That's good, but this is going to be very bad. There's going to need to be a lot of civil disobedience and everything else, which is peaceful, legal Well, it's legal. It's legal protest, meaning, you know, you can Google civil disobedience. Kind of hard to explain, but civil disobedience is a long time accepted civil rights tactic where you basically peacefully protest, Gandhi style, basically. And there's going to have to be a lot of it, probably. The House is scared to say no because Republicans are afraid for their lives and their families' lives. That, according to Republican congressmen during Trump's first term, the ones that retire then admit the truth, and the ones that were retiring admitted, and they said, we are, there's a number of Republicans in Congress who support all of Trump's radicalism. There's a number of Republicans in Congress who don't, but they're afraid for their lives and they're afraid for their families' lives, and that Trump supporters threaten them and they're afraid for their safety. So that's why they don't stand up to Trump. You can Google it. It was a big story back during Trump's first term. So yeah. Yep. I mean, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. National strike. Sure. Hard to organize, but might be necessary. Will the stock market crash? It could. Again, if there's turmoil, if there's domestic turmoil, if there's domestic unrest, stocks, I mean, I got my retirement in the stock market. It's scary, I mean, I would wish the business leaders might weigh in at some point and say, okay, guys, this is getting kind of scary. The military, well, the military weighs in once. If there were martial law, the military would play a role, obviously, in doing it, but also saying no. So, because the military in the U.S. is not allowed to agree to illegal orders. Thank you, OC. The military has to say no to any order that's illegal. I was actually talking to a military friend the other day, and he was telling me how it's actually like drilled into you from early on, which is very interesting. Or a military guy, that it's drilled into you from early on in your training that you are you basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Not devoted to. Somebody military help me out here. That you basically are devoted to the Constitution, not to a politician. You work for the Constitution. You don't work for the president. I mean, you work for the president, but that's not who you're working for. You're working for the Constitution. That's what you're loyal to. You're loyal to maybe loyalty is the word I'm looking for. You're loyal to the U.S. Constitution. You're not loyal to any man or woman. Your oath. That's a better way of putting it. Thank you. Right. Your oath. But what's interesting to me is I was told, oh no, early on in the military, that's drilled into your head, and it's repeatedly drilled into your head that your oath is to the Constitution, not any man or woman. So that's the one good thing, but who knows, right? Man, very scary stuff. All right, Missy, what you doing here? What you doing? Hello. You want to come in? Thank you. Good. Not going to eat anything. That's good. Exactly. Puppy. Anyway, oh my God. Oh gosh, so much crazy news. Ay. I'm in Washington, D.C. Mamma mia. Mamma freaking mia. Midterms could change everything if they're not stolen. Yes. They announced today, was it North Carolina, changed their redistricting? I think it was North Carolina. They're trying to get rid of a bunch of Democratic congressional seats pretty much illegally. It's never been done. I mean, it's just never been done like this. You're not supposed to revisit congressional seats until the 10-year mark, so 2030. They're doing it now because currently they're afraid they're going to lose to Democrats next year, so they're stealing a bunch of seats now to stop it. And again, who's going to stop them? The Trump MAGA courts? Very scary stuff. Thank you, Sarah. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Not that this is happy gift news, but no, Democrats need to come in, and reasonable Republicans, and they've got to pass a bunch of laws so this stuff can't happen ever again. The problem is, who enforces the law? The Trump Justice Department, But at least let there be a court. I mean, because the thing is, let them break the law. Let the court say Trump broke the law, and let him refuse to listen to the courts, because then things get interesting, because then he's the one breaking the law. And if he's breaking the law, then he's no longer legitimately in power, if that happens. And that's when things get interesting. But you need the laws on the books, and you need the judges there in place who are willing to enforce the law. and order Trump to stop breaking the law and then have Trump say, no, I'm going to do it anyway, that gets interesting. But you got to get to that point. I have no idea whether the California proposition will pass. I just don't know the polling on that. Hello, you. What are you doing? Hi, hello. Oh, yeah, I got you. All right. Missy is standing under my seat a little bit here, so I'm giving her a pet. Hello. We had a good walk today. We met lots of other dogs. Very exciting. Very exciting. Trump has like itty bitty ignored courts. He hasn't done the big ignoring of the courts. He's done like itty bitty at this point. So, like they played games with immigration, but it needs to be something big. It needs to be something big. I think on all this stuff, I think on everything. I really do. I think on everything, the only way it's like the whole thing they say about addiction or whatever, where you've got to hit rock bottom, meaning, well, with addiction, I think it means you've got to sort of crash so that you realize you need help. This is a little different. Well, actually, this isn't different. I think the American people need to crash so that they realize they need help. I think things have to get so bad that people finally go, you know what? This is not good what's going on, because this is really bad. Whether it's the stock market, whether it's the economy, whether it's Trump just doing something so outrageous. And again, I don't want to give examples because TikTok won't like it. Our overlords, I mean protectors. So I'm not going to say that, but he has to do something so, Kent State, right? Something so bad that people go, that even people who may support him go, okay, this has gone too far. But let's see. Oh, I forgot the other latest story. Trump, in order to lower American food prices, by the way, it won't. The experts say it won't make any difference. Trump is going to buy a bunch of Argentine beef. Guess whose beef he isn't buying? American beef. American beef. The U.S. farmers are pissed. Absolutely pissed. I mean, really kind of amazing. And the experts are saying it's Argentine beef is such a small portion of the overall market that it's not going to make a difference in beef prices. But also what it really is, again, what is it really? It's a subsidy to Argentina. It's another way for him to give our money to Argentina, to his friend in office. Is there some middleman that gets money, by the way? Probably. Who's importing the Argentine beef? Somebody in Argentina gets the money. Somebody in the U.S. gets the money. You know how it works, right? Yeah. But literally, Trump's newest proposal is that we buy more Argentine beef instead of American beef. Again, I just have to, as Nancy Pelosi once said, hardy, har, har, har. I mean, this is not new. He doesn't keep his promises. He doesn't care about people like you and me, meaning Americans. So, oh well, this is part of my rock bottom thing, right? You got enough people have to see him screwing them over before they then say, okay, exactly. Is America great yet? Yep. Until they say, this does not feel great. Buying Argentine beef instead of American beef. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Ooh la 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 la. Oh my God. I actually slept well. I'm still tired, but I slept pretty well last night. Dog didn't wake me up, which I was shocked. That was a surprise. Anyway, what else, guys? So yes, welcome. If you're new on TikTok, we hang out, we talk about the news. First part of the show, which is already over, I sort of go through the news of the day and pick the stories I think are important, walk you through them, tell you what's actually going on from my news perspective, which is longtime journalist, legal person, political guy, working in politics as well in Washington. So now we're at the part of the show where we talk about whatever topic you want to talk about. So talk about it. 6 o'clock Eastern time, US. Except now I'm yawning. One of my signatures is I'm always tired. 6 o'clock Eastern time, US. So Landman, I don't know it. The Louvre robber we talked about yesterday. Excuse me. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, J.D. Vance shooting the missiles over the California highway. That happened this weekend. Celebration of the Marines. the Trump people decide, wouldn't it be cool to shoot live weapons over the California highway? The California highway people said, you know what? Or the California governor said, that sounds really dangerous, shooting artillery shells across a highway that people are using. And the Trump people got all upset and said, oh, you're being ridiculous. So Newsom, I think, shut down the highway anyway. And what happened? An artillery shell exploded all over the highway. It damaged a police car, California Highway Patrol car. And it was part of the security detail of J.D. Vance. Blew up and damaged cars on the highway. Could have killed somebody. Yeah, wonderful. So lovely, 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 lovely. And the military agreed, but he runs the military. Military might have said, not a great idea, but, they're allowed to do it, right? I mean, best and worst way the shutdown could end. Best way, Republicans agree to fund the Affordable Care Act subsidies and put the money back in Medicaid. Worst way, Democrats go, okay, it's over. We don't care. Let the Republicans continue to double our insurance premiums next year and cut healthcare for millions of Americans. So, though I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I will say the healthcare thing, the thing with the healthcare stuff is your premiums don't kick in yet. What will be interesting to see is pretty soon is when, I've not gotten my new premium yet. The new premium is coming soon. This is the time of year when they tell you how much they're raising prices. That's the first thing that's going to freak people out. I don't know if people know yet how much. I don't know when people are, maybe they're informed. Does anybody know with Obamacare, with the ACA, when do you, if you get the subsidies real time, if you get them every month, right? When do you get informed of what next year's subsidy is going to be? If the subsidy is being cut, when will these guys when do they get a letter that says, in January, your premium is going to be this, and this is how much subsidy? Actually, my guess is it's the same time you get the premium, is my guess. So if the premiums are going up around now, or I should say, if the premium notification is coming out about now, I'm guessing the premium notification includes something that says this is how much subsidy you're getting or not getting, right? They're sending it out now. That's what I thought. That mid-November. Okay. So basically, the shutdown will still be, there won't be as much pressure on the Republicans because everybody is worrying about their stuff going up, but they don't know how much it's going up. And until they get the bill, they won't know how much it's going up. And they also won't know how much subsidy because the subsidy is a whole other problem. Your insurance will go up 10 to 20% guaranteed. It always does, maybe more. But your subsidy is going down. So not only is your insurance going from, I pay $1,500 a year, $1,500 a month, excuse me. Not only will my insurance go up from $1,500 a month to probably $1,650 a month easily, but the subsidy I'm getting will go down from this much a month to this much a month, right? So, it's crazy. You should not be uninsured. If you're American, you usually should be able to get coverage, either Medicaid or Affordable Care Act, unless you didn't want to have insurance. But generally speaking, unless you're in a state that didn't cover Medicaid expansion, maybe that can be an issue. That you make too much for Medicaid and not enough for Obamacare subsidies. But usually you can get a very good deal. Like a very good deal. $170 a month, that's excellent. Again, depends how old you are, but that's excellent. It's crazy. I mean, Toilet Gamer from the UK, quite literally my insurance premiums are $1,540 a month, I think. And they go up every year 15%. A year probably, which means they're probably going to go up $200. They're probably going to go up to $1,700 this year, a month. Now, thank God I get a subsidy. Thank God it's going to go down unless the Republicans cave, right? But it's absolutely crazy. It's horrible. And anybody who, the Republicans like to say, oh, it's Obamacare. Yeah, it's called insurance in America. Insurance has always been expensive. Insurance has always been crappy. It got much better with Obamacare because Obamacare requires all sorts of things. Women, free mammograms. Vaccinations, free for everybody. Limits. This is complicated, but I'll tell a little of it. In American insurance, we had a couple things with American insurance. One, they could turn you away. They could simply say, you've got too many health conditions and we don't want to cover you. And they would just turn you away. I had a friend, he was in his young 30s, maybe like 32, 33, and was a teacher. But because he was a substitute teacher, he didn't have a full-time job. He couldn't get insurance. He was he would work at whatever school hired him. Well, he applies for insurance at one of the big companies, and they turned him down, and he sent me the letter. I wrote about it on my blog, but I can't find it now. I actually should ask him what it was again. I remember it was my friend Eric, and they wrote him the letter and said, this is before Obamacare, we are not going to give you insurance, healthy 33-year-old man, because you have, I want to say like allergies, eczema. It was eczema. It was like eczema or psoriasis, like the itchy thing you get on your arm or your elbow or whatever. That was one of them. Allergies, I believe, was one of them. And the other one, it might have been high cholesterol. It was insane. It was three things, and it was three of the dumbest things you've ever seen. And they just said, we're not going to insure you. They literally said no. He couldn't get insurance. You would go, if they gave you insurance, they would say, okay, you'll get insurance, but we're gonna charge you much more than anybody else. For example, a friend of mine working here on Capitol Hill in the U.S. Senate moves to Arizona years ago, before Obamacare, and they tell him, oh, well, you're paying $400 a month in Washington. Insurance in America is done state by state. The same insurance company told him, oh, it's $400 in Washington. If you move out to Arizona, this is like, by the way, this is 20 years ago, guys. 20 years ago? This is actually almost 30 years ago that they did this. So imagine 30 years ago. They told him, your insurance, if you move to Arizona, it's same company, is going to increase from $400 a month to $1,200 a month. Why? Because he had some problems with his eye. He had like some weird floaters in his eye that had something to do with blood clots or something. Didn't lose his vision, had to be on blood clotting medicine and this kind of stuff, and the eyes were good. So basically, for the rest of his life, he's got to be on this medicine, right? But it's blood clotting medicine. Because of his pre-existing eye condition, they were going to increase his insurance from $400 a month to $1,200 a month. That's what they did. That's what they did before Obamacare. And Obamacare came in and said, no, if you are only allowed to charge people based on their age, so, and their location, because they different states. So if I'm in Washington, D.C. and I'm 40 years old, you have to charge me the same thing you charge every other man or woman who's 40 years old in Washington, D.C., period. You can't say, well, they used to charge women more. Women were considered a pre-existing condition. They literally claimed, well, women have lots of health issues. Men don't. So we're going to charge women more for insurance, right? It was the stuff they did. They used to have annual limits. My insurance, I work for myself. I had the best insurance I could get. Okay. Best insurance I could get. Oh God, $5,000 out of pocket. That's insane. Best insurance I could get. And they would only cover $1,200 of prescriptions a year. Now, I have asthma. American medicines are horrifically expensive. My prescriptions cost for my asthma at the time. Now I'm off of most of the drugs. I get injections, allergy injections, but my prescriptions were $500 to $600 a month for asthma drugs. That's $6,000 to $7,000 a year. My insurance only covered $1,200. Okay? They expected me to pay the rest myself. What I did, I would go to France every summer, because I went anyway, and I would buy enough prescriptions for the year and bring them back. That's how I was able to afford it. And the same drug, one drug was Advair. My Advair cost it was in Europe, it's Seretide, or in French, Seretide. I would go to France. I'd buy my Seretide. In America, it cost $350 a month. In France, it cost around 40 euros, which is about 40 bucks at the time. 1 second, give the dog some water. I mean, the insanity of it. The insanity of it. My prescription in France was $40. My prescription in America for the same prescription was $350. It's the same prescription made, by the way, made by the same company. Guess why it's cheaper in France? Because the French government has kind of a, I would almost say it's almost like Medicare for the entire country, where they've got a government health plan and then you can buy additional health plans, private plans to cover more, right? So you get the basic plan, you cover more. Because they've got the whole country covered, France simply says, okay, if you want to sell your drug to people in the French healthcare system, you're going to charge a reasonable price. And all the drug companies said, okay. So in France, they said, okay, we'll only charge $40. This was Merck, by the way. Merck said, okay, we'll only charge $40 in France. We'll just charge $350 in America to make up the difference. They literally charged us more because we were Americans. That's what happened. And under US law, it was illegal for the US government to say, hey, we've got a lot of seniors in Medicare. Let's use them as leverage and say, if you want access to the, I always forget, is it 30, 40 million? Alexa, how many American seniors are in the Medicare program? Oh, she's so freaking stupid. Alexa, how many seniors are in the Medicare program? Oh my God, you're such an idiot. Hey, Google, how many American seniors are in the Medicare program?
Sorry.
Oh my God. Hey, Google, how many Americans are on Medicare? Oh my God.
On the website Medicare.gov, they say more than 66 million.
Okay, there you go. Chuck says, okay, thank you. 68 million, Chuck says. This is 66. That's a lot of people. France has 80 million people, maybe. Okay. I mean, it's around the same. And the French were able to get the drug prices down to $40 from $350 by simply saying, we've got a big population. Medicare wasn't allowed to do it. It was illegal for them to do it under US law. So any case, but that is an example. We had annual limits on how much, and we had the other thing was lifetime limits before Obamacare. Because Republicans, again, anybody who says Obamacare is bad, before Obamacare, you'd get cut off throughout the year. If you spent too much money, they'd cut you off. Cancer, oh well. What they also would do is cut you off if you spent too much over your lifetime. And people with cancer would absolutely positively go through their insurance because you'd have a lifetime limit of like $2 million. Well, $2 million sounds like a lot. Not in America, it's not, right? Those drugs and the healthcare could cost a couple $100,000, $2 million. So what happened was people would run out of insurance. And once you run out of insurance, do you think any other insurance company is going to give you insurance when you've got cancer? No. So there was a famous movie critic, the Americans will know, Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert, great guy, very funny movie critic. And he had oral cancer of the mouth. He was lucky enough that he had worked 3 different jobs that gave him insurance. One of them, I think, was at a university or something, one of which was his union, and another one was the newspaper. Was he Sun-Times? I think it was Chicago Sun-Times. The newspaper he was at. And because of it, I think he had a pension at each, and the pension included insurance. Because he had 3 insurances, he went through lifetime limit of insurance number 1, they cut him off. Lifetime limit of insurance number 2, they cut him off. Insurance number 3 was the last one he had when he died. So he didn't lose his insurance. But because he had 3 insurance, because of his different jobs, he was lucky. But had he been like a regular American having 1 insurance, he would have no longer had cancer treatment. Mark Cuban's drug company doesn't help me, but I'm sure it helps some people. Yeah, I don't have any prescriptions that are expensive at this point. Well, I don't think so. Yeah, not really. So, yeah, no. So Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, amazing what it did in terms of getting rid of some of the most horrific laws we had. But again, it's not cheap. Nothing's cheap. And Republicans made it more expensive because Republicans went after and said it's tyranny to require people to buy insurance. Apparently, it's not tyranny to send the military into their cities and literally tyrannize them, but it's tyranny to require people to buy insurance. So they went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court struck it down. So no longer are you required to buy insurance. And what does that mean? People who are relatively healthy don't buy insurance, and they wait until they get sick. So now the rest of us have to pay more. So thank you. Thank you, Republicans, for that one. Yeah, younger people have no idea how bad it can get if Republicans have been trying to repeal Obamacare for years. They were unsuccessful. They were one vote away under Trump's first term. John McCain, your Republican senator, stopped them. Had John McCain voted with them, Obamacare would have been gone. All these protections, I'm telling you, would have been gone. People have no idea how lucky they are. Very scary stuff. No, I'll give McCain credit. McCain still wasn't as good as he could have been on a lot of stuff, but he saved us on Obamacare. Absolutely saved us. I mean, I don't know what article that is, Shania, without looking it up. What is it? I mean, literally, I moved to New York. I wouldn't have been able to come back to DC. When I moved to New York and I had to move back to DC, I had to get new insurance. Insurance in America is state-based. When you switch states, you've got to get new insurance because insurance is based on your state. They're private companies, but they can only operate in one state or whatever. Each one's independent. So when I moved from New York working for the UN back to Washington, I wouldn't have gotten insurance because of my pre-existing conditions. The same thing when I went to work at the UN, maybe because I was working at a company, maybe. But even when you went to companies, sometimes they wouldn't cover you for the first year. They would say, for example, you've got an eye problem. We're not going to cover your eyes for the first year of your new job. I kid you not. They would do stuff like this. So yeah, they wouldn't have, when I moved back here, I would not have had insurance. First of all, I would have had to stay in New York because I wouldn't have insurance if I moved, or I would have had to leave the country. I mean, crazy stuff, absolutely crazy stuff. So very, very, hey, hi, Tide and Joyzy. Very, very crazy stuff. If you lose your eyesight in the first year, you're out of luck. I mean, it's crazy. Our system is crazy. And Americans have no idea what it's like elsewhere, I think people put up with it because they're not familiar with what the options are, Right. People in Massachusetts had Romney Care, which was a Republican program, which used to be Obamacare was Republican. It was a Republican program, really, that the Republicans came up with. Yeah, McCain's thumb down. Yeah, exactly. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I've been hearing about the Medicare Advantage problem. Mayo Clinic no longer takes Medicare Advantage? Wow. But does that mean you can still use regular Medicare or no? If you have Medicare Advantage and Mayo Clinic doesn't take Medicare Advantage, are you screwed, or you can still use regular Medicare? But I've been hearing lots of problems with Medicare Advantage, which really sucks because, like, I'm going to have to worry about that in a few years. Yeah, that's scary stuff. But no, everyone's telling me, I used to think Medicare Advantage was like you pay more, but you get more. You get more. And now a lot of people are saying, it's not great. Yeah. I don't know about UK digital IDs. The federal stuff is good, though. Yeah, Linda, your federal stuff will help you, though. Can I ask what's considered a lot that you pay? Only because, my bill's $1,500 a month. So, it's been a long time since I've had a small bill for my $700. That's not small. Okay. $700 is not small. You're right. That's not small at all. And there's no subsidy. That's a lot. Well, that is a lot. Wow. Not thrilled about Trump destroying the White House, in part because he's gaudy as hell. Also because he's not going through the appropriate process. C, because he's also destroying the White House, which is really horrific. Everybody else, did tasteful additions or whatever. Even his wife took out the rose garden. That was disgusting, right? What Melania did was gross. But now he's literally tearing down, and the building he's building is going to be bigger than the entire White House. I mean, come on, you know? Well, Courtney, I get a subsidy, which helps. I'm going to get less subsidy next year if the Republicans have their way. You know, military leaders stepping down. You know, it's a tough call. I mean, I don't think military leaders should stay and help implement martial law or fascist policies or whatever. But at the same time, you know, you worry about it being replaced by somebody who will. But at the same time, if you're going to stay and implement the fascist policies, then what's the difference, right? You can either have somebody who agrees with us in their heart, but still does all the bad stuff, or somebody who doesn't agree with us and still does all the bad stuff. So I almost feel like it's more important for military leaders to stand up to Trump. Why are more dropping? Or there was the admiral the other day announcing he was going to leave at the end of the year, who was concerned about the Venezuela stuff, to put it lightly. Hmm. 441, possibly Sentry. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been here forever, so certainly quite possible. Medicare has stopped paying ambulance bills with the shutdown? Get out of here. You're kidding me. Get out of here. Yeah, they're shutting down some of the over-the-counter drug stuff and the utility stuff and all of that, WC. They were saying that too. A lot of them are cutting off those extra benefits. Yeah. Let's see. I don't have to worry about it for a few years, but I'm like, oh God, you know? I mean, by the way, that's a scammer on TikTok. Ignore them. Obviously, they're going to get blocked and reported, but they're a total scammer, so you don't want to go to their account and lose money. See, now you've wasted your time because nobody's clicking over. Ha ha, ha ha. Make sure to report them too, of course. You wonder if any of that crap works, or if they're 12 years old, you know? Well, it's the same scammer. That was the same scammer. Thanks, Manda. Won't I be in Greece in a couple of years? Who knows? Who knows? You know, I'm one document closer today. Well, I have the church copy of my grandparents' marriage certificate, so I got that today. So that was good. But I've still got to get some more documents, but that was at least a step in the right direction. But again, it just depends. It depends. You know, it depends what the embassy says. I mean, the Greeks could either be good with me or bad with me. It's not clear whether they're going to give me a hard time or not with the documents I've got. So we'll see. We'll see. Not medically necessary ambulance. That's scary. Farage, scary, obviously. Oh, the passport is not sorted. No. I am still going through the process here. Yeah. Although I may only need one more document in order to get my Greek passport, but it still can be complicated because there's name change. You know, the name in America is this, the name in Greece is this. Like, there's lots of little anal things that could be difficult if they want to be. You know, my mother's name in Greek was Maria. Her name in English was Mary. That's not the same name. And you're just kind of going, seriously? Like, seriously? It kind of is the same name, actually. Right? The Virgin Mary was Maria. It literally is the same name. But they, you know, so lots of things. The Greek lessons are going well. I'm enjoying them, actually. The Greek lessons have been going very well. We're all at the same level, more or less, which I'm kind of shocked because I thought the other people in class. Oh, hey, Joey. Is that the real Joey Contino? I've got to look and see now. Oh, that's the real Joey Contino. Joey, I've got to have you. I tried to send you a message. I was inviting you to come on sometime so we could talk Ukraine. And although I don't know if you ever saw it, that is the real Joey. Okay. Send me a message if you want to come on sometime. I mean, right now is the end of the show, so I don't want to do it right now. Because literally we've got a couple more minutes, but but I wanted to talk Ukraine because I don't have enough guests on, and people had mentioned you. I mean, I know who you are, obviously, but people mentioned you, and I said that's right. So, and actually, what's his face's staff got Ruben Gallego's staff got back to me again today. They were like, "Oh, we're sorry, we dropped the ball." So we're booking Senator Gallego, U.S. Senator from Arizona, Gallego. He's going to come on. I've known Ruben for years. Probably the only senator I'd say I know. Yeah, Ruben's probably the only senator I actually know, so to speak. But anyway, yeah. So email me or message me on here if you want to join in the future, Joey. We'll figure something out in the next couple of days, even if you want. But Raskin, I'd be glad to get Raskin on. I just reached out to Ruben because, I know Ruben. Kathy, actually, I could reach out to Kathy now. Kathy's person said, Kathy said she'd love to come on. Kathy Griffin. They said wait until mid October, which we're at now anyway. So I will reach out to Kathy again now too. Yeah, Ruben, I like Ruben a lot. Ruben's great. And Ruben's politics and mine are very similar. Thank you, Addie, for the gift. We're both very reasonable, I would say. Thank you, LM, as well. But I like him a lot. Jens, χαίρομαι που ακούω ότι το μαθήμα των ελληνικών πάει καλά. Ευχαριστώ, Jens. I'm assuming I would never have Hassan on. No. Hassan Piker goes a little too far for me. I'm sorry. Yeah. He's a little too radical for my taste. Thank you, Russell. For the dragon. Radical is putting it nicely. I think Hassan is part of the reason we have Trump as president, for starters. He's also way too, extreme. Radical is not the word. I'd use the word extremist. But yeah, that's never going to happen. But yeah, no, but the Greek class is going well. I've been happy, so that's good. What else? Got a couple more minutes, and then we're going to go, guys. Was he ever normal, so to speak? He's cute, but that's about it. You want to hear some Greek? I hate speaking languages on demand, though. It's easier to have a conversation, although my Greek is still, Etsy Ketsy, όταν λέμε, μπορώ να πω κάτι στα ελληνικά, αλλά δεν θα είναι πολύ σωστό, αλλά αρκετά ακριβό. Δεν θα είναι, like I said, perfect. What's the word for perfect? Fallen is here. Fallen can tell us. Forgot how to say perfect. Κάνω λάθος μερικές φορές, αλλά μπορώ να πω ό,τι θέλω. Τέλειο? I'm forgetting now. What was telio? I don't even remember what I asked you. I think of telio as being like the end or finish or something. Like teliono. Oh, telio is perfect. Really? Telio. That's funny. Funny. Bread is somi. I know bread. Sasha, no, you've got to wait. Sasha wants more water. Telio is perfect. Okay, so then είναι τόσο τέλειο, αλλά although telio would be telea, it's a τα ελληνικά μου, right? So then είναι τόσο τέλεια, I guess, νομίζω. I hate the agreement thing. Drives me a little crazy in Greek. But ne, okay, ακριβώς. Well, and that's Sasha. Wait, that's some of what I'm trying to work on too, because just like in other foreign languages, the agreement between verbs and nouns and adjectives and nouns is very important. Δεν είναι τόσο τέλεια. Yeah, τα ελληνικά μου δεν είναι τόσο τέλεια. So it is τέλεια. That's what I thought. Τέλεια. Okay, so I got it right with the agreement. Yeah. Αλλά, μπορώ να πω ό,τι θέλω. Όχι, ό,τι θέλω, αλλά αρκετά. Πάρα πολύ καλά. Ευχαριστώ. Is Greek considered Latin? No. Greek would be a different, Latin and Greek would be different. I don't know. I'm sure if you go back, I don't know whether Indo-European, I don't know whether that's I don't remember once you go back further, but Greek and Latin are on different positions, and there's overlap because the Greeks had Sicily, and then the Romans took over Greece. So you had overlap there that I wouldn't be surprised. I don't remember well enough the sort of the different ways the overlap would happen. Pre-Latin, I don't remember what you call It sounds almost Middle Eastern. No, that's funny. I've never been to Kosovo. I've never been to former Yugoslavia at all. Well, Kosovo is former Yugoslavia. No. I know that, the Catholics used to have, I've heard Latin. And that's what I was thinking. Indo-European is what I was thinking of, being like the precursor to the languages. So they are. So they're both branches of Indo-European language family. Okay. So you got to go back, but I'm guessing going back, what is it, 40,000 years or something crazy? I don't even know how far back you have to go back to have them be like the same precursor language, Proto-European or whatever. I don't even know, I think you mean a different word, Bill, and I'm not going to say it. You're close. But anyway. Oh, no, you're not, James. You're a scammer. Nobody on TikTok click through to James because he's going to scam you out of your money. So ignore him. Mods, you know your stuff. Block and report. They're related through a very ancient common ancestor called Proto-Indo. Oh, Proto-Indo. That's funny. I was thinking Proto-European or Indo-European. I didn't know there was a Proto-Indo-European. Now, how far back do you have to go, Russell? Like, how far back do you have to go to to reach the common ancestor of Latin and Greek? Just curious. Is it like 40,000 years, or is it like, do they even know? I guess, do we know how far back language goes? You know what I mean? Or 20,000? I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's less. 8,000. Well, the planter is only 8,000. The planet's only 8,000 years. Lithuania is attached, is with Indian? Really? I know that's well, exactly. You don't want, who knows? Some crazy person goes over there and clicks with the crazy scammers. I mean, who knows? Hopefully not, all Greek to you. Ha, 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 as we say in Greek. Actually, I will tell you one funny story. I was telling my sister the other day in Greek school, because we had to go study Greek when we were young, because back then you had to. And I was, probably, I used to hate Greek school. I was probably 10 years old. And they would send us to Greek class at church Tuesdays and Thursdays after regular school. Imagine, after regular school, you've got to drive to church and have class from like 3:45 to 5:45 twice a freaking week. And then you had homework from Greek school in addition to regular school. It sucked. Well, one of the things they would have us do is, it was Greek school or it was Sunday school. And I don't, because then you had to go to Sunday school too, right? And I don't remember which one it was, but they would have the kids sing songs, and we'd sing Greek songs, right? And it was because you had the big festival, and it was one of the big festivals. And I think maybe it wasn't Greek school. I don't know which. Could have been Greek school. Could have been Sunday school. But with one of the big, annual festivals was coming, and the kids would have to sing the songs. And they had us learn this song. Fallen, you're going to love this. They had us sing this song that was a popular Greek song at the time in the early 1970s. And the funniest part was, we learned the song, we sang it, and then somebody figured out, which I love this. Somebody, by the way, with the trolls, we're having another troll incident on TikTok. Remember I told you guys how the trolls get talking points, but they don't actually listen to the show? Somebody just wrote and said, "Stop whining. I'm telling a funny story about a Greek song." Your talking point was a little bit off. You might want to sharpen your skills a little bit for being a troll. But remember, I've told you that about how they use written talking points, and they get it wrong because they don't actually, either they don't speak English. So in any case, we have the festival or whatever it was. And with Greek school or Sunday school, each class had to do something. In my class, we were like 10 years old, had to sing a song. And the song they had us sing until somebody figured out, some adult figured out, I mean, they knew what the song meant, but they didn't think about it. Some adult figured out what the song meant, and we were banned from singing the song. And we didn't have the festival yet, but we had practiced a lot. And we were all trying to figure out what the problem was, and nobody would tell us. So the song in Greek was called Maria Metakitrina. And I believe the translation of that would be Maria dressed in yellow. And the song was Maria Metakitrina, something like Tonandrasu. Tonandrasu kaliter. Oh, no. Maria Metakitrina, Tonandrasu kaliter. Oh, no. Tonandrasu. Oh God, I'm forgetting the song. You know this, Fallen. I'm forgetting the second and third line. Maria Meta Kitrina. Oh no, Maria Meta Kitrina. Maria in yellow, exactly. Pionaka pa kalitera. Who did she love more? Pionaka pa kalitera. Who did she love more? Tonandrasu itoyitona. Her husband or the neighbor. And this was the song they had a bunch of 10-year-olds singing in church. Until somebody sort of sat there and went, wait a minute, Maria dressed in yellow, who did she love more, her husband or the neighbor? Oh, I'm like crying, telling you, it was the funniest damn thing. Oh God. And like as kids, it didn't really, I mean, we knew that's what it meant, but we didn't, we're thinking, who do you love? Oh, that's nice. They love each other. You're not really thinking, right? Love. And some adult figured out it was a song about adultery. Oh, it's got to be on YouTube. I don't want to pull it up on YouTube because it'll get upset. TikTok will, or YouTube will get upset if I play it on YouTube, if you play a YouTube song. But I mean, funniest damn thing ever, right? Anyway, but so that was my funny Greek school. That was my funny. The story just makes me laugh so hard. I just think, I mean, and again, in church they had us, and we're conservative, conservative enough church, and some adult, and we practiced a lot because I know the song. Maria Meta Kitrina, like I know the damn song. We had to learn it. Oh God, so wonderful though. But yes, we won't be singing that song. Why? I don't know why. Oh God, Yella, something about a fella. Oh, I don't know. That's funny if the song was borrowed into English. I don't know. That's true. It could be Maria and Yella, Yellow, something about a fellow. Yeah, that'd be funny actually. All right, you. Hello, you. Yeah, go look. Well, the problem is you'd have to write it. Oh, that's weird. Wow. That's bad, Callum. You need to call them and then get them all the information. Yeah. I'm going to look really quick, though, because I can at least show you on YouTube. I can't play it because YouTube will get upset if I play it. Well, YouTube might let me play it. I mean, sometimes they say, well, I have to be careful, though, because we don't want like money although I don't think anybody did any donations today on YouTube. Oh, yeah, it came up. They're writing it in English, which is actually, oh God, is it Nana Muscuri? Oh my God. So, okay, this is how you would say it. That's how you'd write it. So it's Maria me. So Maria mi ta Kitrina is how you'd write it. So you can Google it. I'll show you guys. So that's how you'd write it, that you can just Google it. Maria meta mi ta Kitrina. So Kitrina. And Nana Muscuri is a huge deal. Like I said, I'm a little afraid I'm going to play it later. I'm a little afraid of playing it because it'll get upset. So don't want to do that. Exactly. I don't want to copy. Well, sometimes what they do is they say, well, any money made from, exactly, Julian, any money made from this episode will go to the, copyright holder. It's just not worth it. YouTube's gotten better about that. And I don't think I made any money today, but I'm a little nervous. Who knows? With subscribers, I never quite know how they treat, how they would treat that. Very funny. All right. I'm going to go, guys. Callum, we can talk after. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you for joining us tonight. I will see you all tomorrow here every day, 6:00 Eastern time, US. So come back tomorrow. We'll talk news, we talk politics, and then we talk funny stuff at the end of the show, which we just did. So thank you, guys. Appreciate you coming today. I'm going to start signing off Discord, then YouTube, then TikTok. Hang on here. All right. Bye, guys, on Discord. JTA, Jeffrey, great. Boom. There we go. YouTube, see you guys. And TikTok.